Hi, welcome to your Yin Release practice. We're going to be using a wall in today's practice, so make your way to a wall. Just enough space to bring your legs up on the wall and straddle the wall nice and wide. So after you've made your way to your space, we'll go ahead and begin by lying on our backs. Bringing the hips away from the wall far enough so the legs can rest easy up on the wall with a gentle bend through your knees that will help to even out the pelvis and spread it nice and wide. Now you're welcome to blanket up underneath your hips, taking that blanket and sliding it underneath the pelvis just to cushion your seat. And settle into a relatively still posture. Take the hands to the creases of the hips and feel the creases of the hips. If you're noticing a contraction through your hip flexors, the long stringy-like muscle that tends to pop out if engaged, just massage away any of that tension with the thumbs. Then hands fall to the belly. Begin to feel your breath. The subtle lift of the belly on the inhale and the dropping of the belly on the exhale. The natural rise and fall that's created with the cycles of the breath. Calming the energy down. Becoming relatively still in the body. Helps to slow our thoughts. Calm our mind. Become more present. The rise of the breath on the inhale. The slowing down on the exhale. The heart rate naturally increases on the inhale and decreases on the exhale. Begin to smooth out and lengthen out through your exhale breaths. This helps put the brakes not only on the heartbeat, but helps us to slow the pace. Slowing down the pace of our lives, the pace at which we run our bodies. Notice how you're feeling, if there's any aches or pains. Any strong sensation or lack thereof. Any unnecessary tension in the places we habitually hold stress. For me, it's through my upper back and shoulders and jaw. So mindfully releasing that area. For some, it's in the hips, in the solar plexus, in the feet. And as we slow down and tune in, we have the chance to listen to the wisdom of the body. What it's currently communicating to us. And when distraction comes, the rise and the fall of the belly, you'll keep the right leg where it is. Take the left knee, bend it in. You may need to scoot back from the wall slightly. We're coming into a half hero's pose. So I'm going to need to move my legs. I'm going to scoot myself back as gingerly as possible. And then taking that left leg into a half hero's pose. Now, if this is too much for the thigh, just simply bend your knee and bring it up into the wall. So one leg is on the wall, the other is in a half hero's pose. I've scooted my blanket up towards my mid-back in between my pelvis and hips to support that lumbar curve. But you prop up as necessary, where you can come into a relatively still shape. At the same time, feeling that the tissues are a little challenged, that they're able to adapt and adjust to the current loads and the current shapes that you're placing upon him. And to settle back in, I'm resting my hands right below the belly button. Breathing into the palms of my hands. Belly drops, breathing out. Just like we're taught to do more, accomplish more, achieve more, we become present to teaching ourselves how to relax and slow down. Listen to the needs of the body, mind. About 10 breaths. Then as gingerly as you came in, maybe a bit more gracefully than myself, extend that left leg long, bring it up to the wall. Just notice the difference from one side to the other. Come back to checking in through those habitual holds of tension, shoulders, jaw, temples. Taking the right knee in a half hero's pose. Again, you don't want any sharp, shearing, stabbing pain coming from the knee. So take it to a place where you can soften into. But not create a negative strain or a fear reactive response within the body. And that would be a sudden jolt or jumping. Hands come back to below the belly button. Calming effects of the rise and fall, the ebb and the flow of the breath. And as the intimacy and the connection begins to deepen between the body-mind, what messages is the body telling you? And how does the mind respond to those messages? Oftentimes for me it's one of neglect or denial, not honoring an injury or a wound that I have. Convincing myself to push through, to charge ahead. And that becomes the practice. To honor the body that humbly serves you. About 10 breaths. move that leg, extend it up. Nice flush through the lower body. Nice draining out of any stagnation, any built up. Toxins or impurities begin to get pulled down the legs. Cleansed and circulated. You'll bend through the right leg, take the left knee into a figure 4 shape. Adjust your blanket underneath you. I'm going to bring mine down closer to my hips. You can stay here or start to bring the leg into a twisted position. Taking the right foot off of the wall, but keeping lowering the right foot down on the wall, but keeping it connected to the wall. And then my left hand will glide my left hip towards the wall, further increasing the space between the crease of the hip and the shoulder. A gentle rotation through the spine. Left arm extends out, gaze follows the left fingertips. The head of the femur bone drops down, nice and heavy. And all of those tissues that weave in to that bone become stimulated with intention as well as breath. Practicing going slow. Listening to the messages of the body. About 10 breaths here. You'll come back to that figure 4. Extend both legs up against the wall. I encourage you to keep that soft bend in your knees and recheck in with your hip flexors. Keep them nice and soft. Any tingling, any pulsating. Notice the feet, the toes, the outer, inner ankles. Listen to the feedback of the body. And when we listen physically to our sensations, it draws us ever deeper into our present experience. And the right ankle will cross over the left. You'll keep the left foot on the wall or start to send it, the hips over to the left-hand side. Taking the right hand, just gently gliding open through the outer right leg. Then extending right arm long, following that rotation as you gaze over the fingertips. Head of the femur bone drops down. All of those tissues that merge and weave and become part of bone, fascia, ligaments, tendons, soft tissue, become stimulated through the breath. Through shape, and attention. Practicing relaxing even though we might feel achy or uncomfortable. How can we keep the mind calm and clear? About 10 breaths. Releasing, bringing both legs up against the wall. Taking a few moments to rest hands below the belly. Hear and feel the feedback of your shape. And observe the mind's response to it. We'll stretch out through the feet, curling the toes underneath you and pointing the toes down towards the mat or towards the earth. Just a gentle stretching of the top of the foot to wake it up slightly. Then you'll extend your legs back up. Open up the legs a little wider for straddle pose. If you'd like to bring your hips closer to the wall, do so. I'm going to make my way a little closer to the wall. You want to keep those hip flexors nice and relaxed. Bringing the attention to the inner thighs, the outer thighs. Resting hands below the belly. Practicing slowing down. Being with and in the process. ebb and the flow of the breath. The rise and the fall of the belly. Building that endurance to stay with the practice of being present in our experience. Connecting and relating to the body-mind. About 10 breaths. Belly rises into the palms. Gently draws away from the palms. Bring a slight bend to your knees. Help your legs up. Bringing the legs up the wall. Staying present with your sensations. So much communication happening. Then you'll lower your knees onto the side, come into a fetal shape. Then roll yourself around onto your belly. Bring your blanket with you and adjust as needed. A little slippery slide there. Bring your legs up against the wall. The top of the feet are touching the wall. We found that gentle stretch earlier. I'm going to prop up with my blanket for Sphinx pose. If you don't want to use your blanket, remove it or bring it underneath your belly. Seal is also another option where the arms are straight. And if you're not in your seal, but in Sphinx, we're going to invite in a mudra. And this is a healing mudra. Your your ring finger is going to cross underneath your middle finger. Ring finger crosses underneath middle finger. The pinky, pointer, and thumb come to touch. The mudra is just right around your heart space. Soften the eyes or close the eyes to draw inward. In your own body, in your own time, where can you direct this healing, warm energy that you're generating through this mudra? It could be through physical sensation, a wound, an emotional wound that needs some healing, a physical wound. And with healing comes forgiveness. So maybe forgiving yourself for neglecting that wound or pushing it down, avoiding or distracting yourself away from it. And then underneath forgiveness becomes the bravery of courage to be and heal. Healing those places that are often neglected, that are often pushed away. Courage to let them surface, to be felt, heard, and seen. To acknowledge their truth. About 10 breaths. You release the mudra. Scoot yourself away from the wall. Bring the knees side to side. We'll come back onto our backs for final Shavasana. If you'd like to come back up to the wall and finish with legs up the wall, please do so. Otherwise, make your way onto your back. We'll place the hands right below the belly just to calm and settle the mind body once again. Actively releasing those places of habitual hold. Coming into that receptive, restorative, connected mode of being. Practicing slowing down, tuning in, and listening. Stay in this place of reflection as long as your moments allow. With light love, gratitude, and grace, namaste.